Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this week's video, we're going to give our top tips of how we stay warm whilst living in a van. Yeah. We're Gabe and Paula. Earlier this year, in 2020, we decided to move out of our apartment and into a van. But before we could travel, we needed to convert it into our new tiny home on wheels. And after a few months of hard work, we finally got there. We were lucky enough to spend the summer in Spain visiting Paula's family, where we got to eat some delicious food, see some incredible sights, and most importantly, spend some quality family time. We're back in the UK now, and it's getting cold. We've got some plans to head up to Scotland and over to Ireland next year, where it's going to be even colder. So here's our top tips for keeping warm in winter while living in a van. Okay, so I think the way we're going to do this is maybe kind of do it like tip by tip and number the tips, maybe? What do you think?
Yeah.
So we'll begin with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is actually a prerequisite to keeping warm in the winter. It's super important to insulate the van properly. We started by putting Celotex down on the floor and using foil tape to seal up all the gaps. Next, we used the thermal fleece on the walls and the ceiling. It was really easy to use. We used spray foam to fill in all the areas that we couldn't get the thermal fleece into. After that was complete, we installed the van liner to create a vapor barrier.
Tip number 2. Doesn't matter how well you insulate your van, the heat will always escape through the windows, especially if you put a few windows extra in your van. We have the side one and the 2 back ones, so you can get some blinds or curtains custom made to the back, depending on which window you want to cover. They are very expensive and it's actually quite easy to make. We bought 2 massive house curtains that are thermal, it's a thermal material and a blackout, so they don't let through the light either. We cut them to measure, so we have 2 of this for the back windows and 1 big one for the side window. So you saw them to look nice, and then what we did was to order some magnetic adhesive tape because the van is made of metal, especially if you've left this uncovered, so it would just stick to that. And you stick it all around the border, so you have like a few points to grip to the metal of the van. And every night what we do is just take out to full and yeah, very easy.
Tip number 3, a curtain. We installed this curtain. We used this old rail. Used this old rail that my great aunt had, so it's pretty cool. It kind of gives a little bit of a cool rustic feel to the van. So yeah, really simple. The curtain comes like this. A couple more of the magnetic strips mean that we can make sure that it's nice and tight. Now, it's really important if you do separate the cab from the rest of the van, like we've done without a bulkhead, that you get something like this, because basically this is just windows. So all of this cold heat just comes through, and you can really feel it at night time if you have to nip into the front for anything and you open it a bit, you totally can feel the cold air coming. So this curtain is absolutely awesome.
Tip number 4, the racks. So the floor will get extremely cold, and when you're cooking or washing the dishes, it's horrible to be standing in like a freezing floor. So couple of small, simple rugs, they just make all the difference. And wear your slippers as well.
Slippers.
Not Gabriel's because they're filthy.
But they're warm.
But filthy.
Tip number 5. And this is the big one. It's our diesel heater. We had this installed a couple of weeks ago, and it is an absolute game changer for keeping warm in a van. It is the planar diesel heater. I don't know the exact model. We will link in the description below the exact model. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. We leave it on for about 45 minutes at night time, and it heats up the whole place. It's just got this little switch, press a couple of buttons, and you can set a timer so it comes on in the morning. But yeah, it's really, really good. The fuel source as well is directly from the fuel tank of the van, so you don't have to kind of worry about that. And it won't use any fuel if your tank is under a quarter full, so you're not going to kind of run out of diesel when you're kind of maybe in the middle of nowhere. So that's really good. But yeah, it's basically changed being in the van in winter. So it's yeah, pretty good. So now it's time for a couple of extra bonus tips for keeping warm. I think this is actually an essential. It's not really a bonus one, but hot water bottles. We've got one each, and these are amazing. They stay warm.
It's still warm.
Yeah. It's yeah, they're absolutely awesome. And if you want to be extra conscious with your water use, I mean, you can just reboil the water that you use from it and just top it up with that. But yeah, these are you're onto a winner if you've got a hot water bottle. Another bonus tip is keep your clothes in the bed with you, like at the side. So when you're getting up in the morning, you don't have to get out of bed to...
And also the clothes would stay warmer.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put them around the hot water bottle and you can have some nice toasty underwear to put on in the morning. The other bonus tip is layers on the bed. So we've got our duvet, and then we've got
Blanket.
We've got a couple of blankets that we put on top, depending on how cold it is.
Normally we have the 2 blankets plus the duvet.
Yeah, so yeah.
Plus the hot water bottles.
Yeah. Do you have any more tips?
No.
I have one more.
Snuggle.
Find your snuggle buddy, and then just snuggle. Yeah, genuinely, body heat is one really good way of keeping warm. Yeah, I think that is everything. It's a little short video today, but we just wanted to kind of share how we keep warm, and yeah, maybe give some tips to some people or show some people how we keep warm. There are a couple extra things we want to do in the future, maybe doubling up with the kind of the thermal blinds and things like that. But
and getting some blinds for the cab.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. We're in the UK, so it gets cold, but it doesn't get kind of crazy cold. But we are maybe next year planning on going to Scandinavia, so I think we will probably need some extra things.
Yeah.
When we get to that.
It's still warm.
Hot water bottles.
How is it still warm?
They're the way to go. So yeah, thanks for watching this week's video. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Hope we made you smile. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and like the video. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep.
Anything you want to add?
Nope.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hasta luego. That's your send off. We'll see you next time.
Hasta luego.